Daily Edition, baby. I want to credit my subscriber, Mile High Magoo, because we were this thinking. He wrote in, and I was thinking about it actually at the same time. What if the Knicks benched Mikal Bridges, started Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, and increased OG Anunoby's role as part of a New York Big Three? Now, I know that's not just a hot take. I know you're saying like that's a full-on coffee spitting, basketball brain exploding thought experiment. Shit, what are you talking about? That's the kind of high risk, high reward idea though that could be genius. Or it could blow up the Knicks chemistry, have us looking like a G League team at the start of the season. I know all of that. But the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. At least on a deeper basketball level. It's not a diss to Mikal Bridges. Stop that. Mikal Bridges is one of the league's premier role/star hybrids. But it's about optimizing roles, empowering OG, and unleashing a lineup that might be perfectly tailored for playoff warfare. The current starting lineup and its strengths. Let's look at that first. As of now, the New York Knicks are projected to start in 2025-2026 at point guard Jalen Brunson, at shooting guard Mikal Bridges, at the 3 OG Anunoby, at the 4 Karl Anthony Towns, and at the 5 Money Mitch. It's a beautiful starting 5 on paper. Brunson is an all-NBA level point guard. Mikal is durable. He's long-armed, he's 3D wing, and he takes that pressure off of the ball handler. OG on the other side is an elite perimeter defender. Then you have Cat, who gives you the floor spacing and the elite offensive production at the 4. And then you got Money Mitch, who's cleaning up the messes on the glass, blocking shots. What more can you ask for? Yet, there's something that just feels redundant. Mikal and OG play similar roles. Neither one is a true shot creator. OG is an on-ball defender. Mikal is a better off-ball shooter and cutter, but both operate in that same wing stopper connector space. So what happens if you take one out of the starting 5 and you amplify the other? You clarify hierarchy, you rebalance the chemistry, and you unleash some surprising benefits. Because that OG trade when we first made it changed everything. That's where I want to rewind you guys back to. It was one of the most pivotal in-season moves in recent history, and it really had me thinking. Let's rewind back to December 30th, 2023. The Knicks made a blockbuster move, trading RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley to Toronto, bringing in OG, Precious, Malachi Flynn. And at that time, Knicks fans, we were divided. RJ was homegrown, Quickley was electric, but OG Anunoby offered something different, something the Knicks desperately needed. Elite perimeter defense, physical toughness, and a playoff-ready body. What happened next? We took off. We went on an 11-1 run with the starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby. They formed a devastating trio. OG's arrival instantly gave the team a defensive identity. Opponents stopped scoring in the paint, the team's rebounding improved, and Jalen Brunson, relieved of constant help defense responsibility, elevated into MVP level efficiency. It wasn't just a hot streak that year. It was the proof of concept for OG as a foundational piece for us. He didn't need the ball. He just changed the game on both ends with force, with anticipation, with floor balance. Even Randall, often criticized for his inconsistency, looked energized playing next to OG. That stretch made one thing clear. If you surround Brunson with OG and a competent big, the Knicks can dominate elite teams. That version of the Knicks was the best team in the league for a month. And that's the memory we need to bring forward when considering OG as a Big 3 centerpiece. He's done it before. Now you might be saying, yo, shit, why Mikal Bridges to the bench though? Isn't that an insult? Nah, bruh, it's strategy. This isn't about Mikal Bridges being bad. Mikal Bridges is really good. He's durable, he's selfless, he shoots well from three, and he defends multiple positions. But if you ask Nets fans in 2023-2024, that audition was a primary scorer. As a primary scorer role, it failed. It fell flat. He's more productive flowing, not leading. And in New York, he doesn't need to lead. He doesn't need to be a 1, a 2, or even a 3. You got Jalen Brunson, an offensive alpha, floor general, clutch assassin. You got Karl-Anthony Towns, floor spacing, 4/5, 20 plus points per game, upside. You got OG, an elite defender who can do more offensively than he's allowed to. You got Josh Hart, who's the glue guy, a rebounder, a tone setter, does the dirty work. Then you got money-making Mitch, shot blocker, lob threat, elite rebounder. What are we doing? If you put Mikal Bridges in with the second unit, he could become the centerpiece of that group. He gets more touches, more control, can run a bench-led fast break attack while still closing out games with the starters. You put him alongside Clarkson, critical. In fact, the role becomes clearer. Microwave bench, scorer, second unit stabilizer, closer. It's a little Manu Ginobli. It's a little Andre Iguodala. It's a little Chris Middleton on certain nights. It's not a demotion. It's an elevation through role clarity. Because if we have OG as a big 3 cornerstone, bro, I think we're gonna get out right out the gate. This is the meat of the idea. What if OG Anunoby becomes not just a 3-and-D guy, but part of the official big 3 of the Knicks? What would make a new big 3? Jalen Brunson, engine. Karl-Anthony Towns, versatile big. OG Anunoby, defensive anchor and physical force. This isn't a gimmick. It's returning to a formula that already worked for us. Remember the 11-1 run, post the OG trade that had Randall in the mix, not Towns. That means there's still untapped upside with Cat shooting and OG's attacking lanes that open up even more with Cat on the outside. By expanding OG's offensive role, giving him more pick and roll opportunities, post touches, and open threes, you unlock a two-way enforcer who's capable of 18 to 20 points per game without compromising our defense. This is what Tibbs always dreamed about. A player like Luol Deng or Jimmy Butler, but stronger, more low maintenance and less injury prone. Now Mike Brown can benefit from that. Then you have Josh Hart, who's the unsung connector. In this proposed lineup, Hart starts looking at the shooting guard position, shifting the energy, providing balance and helping out the team in a profound way. Hart crashes the boards like a power forward. He guards multiple positions. He moves the ball quickly. He hits timely threes, and he cuts without the ball. The man also plays every game like it's a game 7 of the finals. His chemistry with Brunson is legendary. From Villanova to the Garden. He knows when to cut, when to switch, when to scrap. He doesn't care about shots. He cares about wins. That's why it's important that he would be in that lineup with them. With Hart in the starting 5, you add effort, you add toughness, rebounding without needing to design a single play for him. And by pairing him with OG on the perimeter, you create the most suffocating wing defense combo in the East. Then you got Mitch Robb, anchoring the defense, being the energy catalyst. Mitch Robb's return to the starting lineup locks in your identity. With Cat at the 4, Robinson at the 5, the Knicks can play. The Knicks can play Cat on offense as a stretch 4, Robinson on defense as a drop coverage big, OG as a roaming chaos agent, Hart as the scrappy helper, Brunson, head of the snake. What are we doing? What are we doing? Robinson's presence frees up Cat from banging in the post. It saves OG from having to rebound every missed shot. and it ensures that no one wants to come into the paint without a bruised rib or swatted ball. Yeah, I'm hyped about the potential and the strengths of this lineup because you get the elite defense from the jump. OG plus Hart plus Robinson. That's a suffocating wall. Teams will struggle to score early, and Mike Brown will sleep like a baby. Then you have a defined offense with all the defined offensive roles. Brunson to create a cat as a secondary scorer, OG as a third option, Hart as a connector, Mitch as a screen or lob guy. Clean, organized hierarchy. Then you got rebounding machines in the lineup. You got Hart, Robinson, OG. 3 elite rebounders. The Knicks could dominate the glass nightly. And then we got a bench spark from Mikal and Clarkson. Mikal leading the bench with Clarkson could cook second units, keep the tempo up and allow him to have more rhythm, both of them to have more rhythm. And then we have a better crunch time lineup. You can start strong defensively in the game flexibly. Bring Mikal back in the game late. Sub Mitch out for spacing if you need. Swap Hart, OG, depending on the matchup. Now, although I'm excited about it, there are some potential weaknesses. Spacing could be a problem. Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson don't shoot threes. That's 2 non-shooters on the floor. So we could shrink the floor for Brunson and OG. Then you have the possibility of Mikal's mentality. That mental adjustment. Would Mikal accept the bench role? Ego does matter in the NBA. Even Villanova guys have pride. Then you have OG's offensive consistency. I know y'all was going to talk about that in my comments. Is OG ready for that type of usage? Can he keep up efficient shooting while scaling up touches? And then I already know y'all coming for me with Mitch. Can you stay healthy? If Mitch Rob doesn't get injured, the lineup balance shifts, and the team could regress defensively if he does get injured. And the psychological implications, if Mikal buys in, this could be his biggest challenge. Can Mikal Bridges buy into a bench role? He started every game since college. He's Iron Man. He's proud. Fans see him as a core Villanova guy alongside Brunson and Hart. But if he bought in, the sky would be the limit for us. This is where Coach Mike Brown is going to have to earn his salary. Bench Mikal, not as a punishment, but as optimization. Keep him happy with closing minutes. Respect and a green light in second unit attacks. If managed right though, this lineup tweak could change his career. It could reduce the wear and tear on him. It could make him the NBA's 6th man of the year. And the playoff implications, building a tougher, smarter, grimy team. Let's talk the playoffs. Because in the postseason matchups, defense, rebounding, and clarity wins, not vibes, not all-star names. We've learned that. Brunson, Hart, OG, Cat, Mitch, that gives you defensive versatility, physicality on the glass, clear hierarchy, switchability. It gives you mental toughness. Meanwhile, your second unit, Mikal, Clarkson, Deuce, Yabusele, Porty, if healthy, can push pace and survive without Brunson. You essentially create 2 units that reflect New York basketball. One punches you in the mouth, the other runs past you. This depth, identity, and balance could get the New York Knicks over the hump against those teams that we expect to be there, like the Milwaukees, the Clevelands, or the Miamis. The Villanova blueprint would just have to be rewritten. I'm proud of that subscriber, man. It really gave you outside of the box thinking. You can't be afraid to mess up the sacred Villanova trio when you're trying to win a championship. And I think we might be on to something. If the Knicks are willing to empower OG as a star, accept Mikal's best role might be off of the bench, and prioritize defensive rebounding over spacing, also trust in Josh Hart to do the little things that win, then we might unlock the next evolution of this team. Not just gritty, not just overachieving, but truly, finally built to win in June. Because winning in the end, this next season, A championship isn't about comfort. It's going to be about sacrifice. Fit. It's going to be about having fearless ideas with this new coaching change. So what say you? What are your thoughts? Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there is no struggle, there's no progress. But also remember this, whether it's out there in the real world or here in these YouTube streets, here in Knicks Deli, baby, everybody eats. I'm your boy Shia.